So James is drinking a glass of cucumber juice. That's 3 big cucumbers. And I'm drinking a glass of cauliflower juice with turmeric and black pepper. And that's going to be horrible. But that's the pulp from the cauliflower. It's a pretty big container. And it has lots of messy other stuff. Well, cucumber on it. But, because I did the cucumber first. But it doesn't matter. I'm going to use this to make cauliflower crust pizza. I could use it for a number of different things. This pulp is very valuable. So, I'm going to talk about a few things here. I don't have anything to really review, but I'm going to mention that you may think, oh, well, that's not very healthy eating pulp. Well, you're probably eating it every day and you don't even notice. You don't know.
What's the code word for it?
I don't know. Anyway, What I'm talking about now is cilantro and lime flavored Uncle Ben's. We ate this last night, and 5 grams of protein per serving. And I saw this package first. This was given to me, and it's ready in 2 minutes. And I'm like, what in the world? How can that be? But it's already cooked, and it's in this plastic container, and you put it in the microwave for like 90 seconds, and you touch it with these cool touch corners to get it out of there. And when I was young, I would have eaten this like crazy. And what I did is I just ate it right out of the container. And that's what I would have done when I was young. I would have been like, oh, hungry at home, in between doing things, grab one of those. Or at work, totally. Now I do not do things like that. And it makes all the difference. So this Far Side book, I got this from the Salvation Army book sale for 20 cents. And I think this one's the most fitting cartoon for the post that I'm doing right now. So I hope you enjoyed that. But I mean, Gary Larson or Gary Larson's publishers, I don't know who picks out the covers, picked out this one, but I picked out the other one. So there we go. But
you were actually guffawing to the occasion.
I laughed at a fair amount of it.
Yeah.
Now when
I was understating when I said the occasion.
No, sometimes I get a good chuckle going.
I woke up several times.
Yeah, and he'd be like, I like it quiet, because James has been staying up all night learning languages. And then he gets frustrated during the day because it's
I did get grumpy.
You did a little bit.
I got it.
No, that's okay.
So,
I understand. I get grumpy when I'm tired too.
Yeah, you can't
help it when you're tired.
But you can't help it when you're laughing either. You know what I'm saying?
So I'm going to put this on me.
I apologize to you.
Because
I did get grumpy in that.
I don't want to wreck my pretty shirt. You may not think it's pretty. I don't care. Tuck it into my bikini. That'll work. Because this is going to be terrible. Terrible.
I'm feeling for you. It's a lot of stuff. Do you want me to pour some more for you? You're just trembling.
So bad.
Yeah. You want? I got more.
There we go.
In case you want to get the last dregs. You're smart though to put that there.
Well, I knew it was going to get dribbling down my chin because I try to do it so fast.
Yeah.
But I don't lose much that way. Wow. So, I know that the cauliflower is very healthy for me. And I like to use it up the juice as soon as I can. Because I don't know how long it's taken to get to me. If I'm not growing it, I don't know. So, when was the harvest date as opposed to when it comes to me? I don't know. So, as soon as I get it, down the hatch. And this pulp I can keep in the fridge for almost a week, a few days anyway, good 3 days. And
you use it for lots of different things.
Lots
right?
of different
So,
things.
yeah.
I could put that
Very
in soup.
flexible.
This time of year, there's a lot of cauliflower ready and tomatoes, and those are the basis, and peppers, bell peppers. You can find a lot of those for cheap. Lots of the, even eggplant,
Lots of
whatever.
zucchinis,
Sure.
eggplants.
And those kind of things are great in antipasto. And antipasto is one of the healthiest things you can eat. Just when you're canning it, you can make it without the oil. So don't put the olive oil in to your mix. Keep it out. And then you can it, and when you're serving it, you drizzle the olive oil on. And then it's a very healthy dish. So, and you can use cauliflower pulp for that. I didn't used to, but now I see you can use cauliflower pulp for that. You can use tomato pulp for that. You don't have to use the tomato juice. And so when I tell you these things, when I say, yeah, I've tried this and it works out just as well, you better believe it, that the stuff that you're buying in the store, if they don't have to tell you that it's pulp, why would they? So if you're going to a restaurant, you'd better expect that that's what you're eating. Not even just think, oh, well, maybe that's a possibility. No, expect it. So when you're seeing things like this, you know that there are loads and loads of people out there that are really health conscious. They're desperate, frankly. There's a lot of desperate people who are, say you're in the United States and your health plan, or maybe you don't have a health plan, it's not covering certain cancer treatments. And all of a sudden you've been living a life where you've been eating, and I'm not singling Uncle Ben's out, it's just that we ate this last night, and this is what we have, made by Mars, for Martians. There's a lot worse than that, but if you're busy, I showed the book of the quadrant system with the 4 different, and you have the red, dominance, and then drivers, the yellow, entertainment people. I don't know. They call them creative sort of people, but they're not creative. It's a particular kind of creativity, just like this is a particular kind of leadership. You could have leaders in this side too, even though these are more, when you get over here you're aggressive, when you're over here you're passive. So you have the
passive people lead by example. That's the only leadership.
And that's the only leadership
works
that
for
really
me,
is.
and the only leadership that really works.
I mean, this leadership is cracking the whip. Do you need that? I mean, you're going to work anyway. If you're a worker, you're going to work. You don't need somebody holding the whip behind you. And if it's a cause you can get behind, and you're the kind of person you've been raised to be a worker, you're going to work. You're going to work for that cause. So is it better to work for their cause, or the cause that you actually see that is good for the people, right? So
leaders, typical drivers, they're driving for their benefit.
Exactly.
So why would you work for the sphincters?
And so anyway, the working group, I think they had them green in that book. Am I right? The blues were the analytical, and anyway.
And the slaves are servants are
the green. And so you have to know if you're a part of that slave group, okay? That's what you're being treated as, and that's how you're being used. That's how you're being rewarded. Your whole life, you don't have enough time to think. You are worked so hard, so many hours in the day, that you don't have time to actually step back and go, whoa, what is going on with our system? If you did, you wouldn't want to be a part of it. If you step out of it for a minute, you're a mess. You're a crying mess on the floor going, oh my gosh, what have I been doing?
Yeah, so it's time, problem of time and energy and money too.
Sure, you haven't been paid your worth. You've been working.
You need good money to get food,
Yes,
good food.
You've been working, slaving away to feed this side, to feed the drivers, to feed the entertainers. They're they're living off your back, and that's what you're getting. You're getting stuff like that because you don't even have time to make yourself proper meals. You're exhausted.
Or
you're
energy.
working constantly.
You were saying
you get
in the
home
summertime, the main problem was energy more than time.
I'd be working the best that I could. I'd give all, and I'd come home and exhausted. What could I do? And so that's what I was eating, most of that. And I'd try to make salads, to go along with that. And that might have been what was keeping me alive.
Well, salads are awesome. No one can dispute that.
But I was able to drink 3 heads of cauliflower there, and I'm having to make up for it now. And James is making up for it now. A lifetime of slaving and feeding yourself less so that they can eat more. The people on this side, they have plenty of time. If you had their positions, which you will never get, they will never get you this position.
You're not their friend, so.
No, they need you to work. They need people to be the slaves. They're not going to promote you. They need you to be working for them. Why would they promote you? So, anyway, they're getting fed the good stuff. This is what they're having. Or they're getting meals made for them. They're not making it for themselves. And what you get is the dregs. And then if they have been living where they're going to restaurants, somebody's making their food, and they haven't been getting the nutrients, well, then all of a sudden they're having to deal with alternative cancer treatments in the United States and stuff like that, right? Where they're trying to get as much nutrients as they can this way. And they're probably not going to eat this. They're probably going to sell that, right? Why wouldn't they? They have to do something to support their habit of drinking this, and they don't want to eat this, so they're going to sell it to you, saying that it's a healthy thing, and it's healthier than this, which I'm going to be bringing to my friend Bob with Alzheimer's because he's eaten like this his whole life, and there's
we don't
no
know exactly
telling him now.
Wrong with Bob.
No, I don't know. You're right.
We got to be.
Yeah, you're right. I'm just frustrated because I'm worried about him. And for a long time I think, well, I shouldn't bring him that and I'd bring him canned food. I don't know if he's eating the canned food. Anyway, but you can't worry about other grown people. They have to worry about themselves. You
just try to help people out. That's the whole thing. You can't really tell anyone
I know
anything.
that he'd be getting that anyway, so I don't want him spending his money on this. He should be spending his money on healthy stuff, right? So I know he's going to spend his money on this if I don't give it to him. When I got this for free from the Salvation Army Furniture Depot, they give me a dessert and a bread if I want it on Friday. And so James took this actually. But,
I took it specifically for our friend.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
He's a great guy, and we care about him a lot. I'm not giving this to him because I don't care about him. I'm giving this to him because I know he would buy it anyway, and I don't want his money going to that. That's why I'm giving it to him. So anyway, that's all I really wanted to talk about.
Yeah, that Larson book's, the best review you could give. It is me mentioning that you were chuckling, guffawing, and stuff like that, chuckling, guffawing, quite a few times then. So,
and I'm not putting down the people, the yellow group that are, if they're doing entertainment, like I suspect I don't care. He gave me a few good laughs. Whatever.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, so many of my favorite rock and roll groups have basically been yellow. I like sports. You don't care about sports.
Exactly.
But like Wayne Gretzky, he was a great yellow person.
Sure.
Great entertainment. Not significant about anything. You get LeBron James saying he's a leader. Nah, he's just an entertainer, and not a very bright one to boot.
When you're a green, you gotta. Sometimes it really helps to get a laugh every now and then. Because
the only people who really drive our society are greens and blues, the analytical people, and then the serfs, slaves, and servants. Like I'm not like a Marxist that says it's only the serfs, slaves, and servants. That's one of the big troubles with communism. they were Marxist to the extent that they were taking down all the middle class, which included like professional class. The analytical type of people is very, very, very short-sighted, very stupid.
Well,
they were sending them to Siberia.
A lot of that middle class is green. A lot of that middle class is green.
Well, the lower middle class would be that way.
No, a lot of the middle class. A lot of the green people are very educated. My sister is bright, really bright, but she'd be as passive as they come, way down in that bottom corner. But she's a smart gal.
Oh, she is.
Just because you're passive and not wanting to dominate other people doesn't make you uneducated. You're just passive. You don't want to dominate. Christianity, in fundamentalist Christianity, raises people to be passive, and it doesn't anymore. I mean, just as if you're a Christian today with the prosperity principle and stuff like that, well, you're being raised on the other end of the spectrum, right? And
well, it's not the entertainment side. Believe me, they're not entertaining. Joel Osteen, I suppose, is an entertainer and a misleader. But yeah, the prosperity people are leaders / misleaders. Yeah.
Well, I don't want to put down Mormon people because I actually think there's a lot of good with the Mormon religion. They believe in
nutrition
and family.
Well, their family values are head of the family.
There's
family values.
Well, they still have. There's a mother at home, at least one, caring for the children, and that's a good thing.
Well, I think that is a good thing.
It could be a father, if you know. Yeah. I'm not saying that it has to be a woman. I'm just saying they have to be green.
I think the ideal would be nowadays, where there's so much unemployment, is for a nuclear family, for one to work half a day, the other work the other half of the day. So morning, afternoon.
Well, there needs to be a green at home all the time.
That would be probably.
So if that takes, if you need a couple different, if you need to have, a few families working together, like it could be two sisters sharing the responsibility or whatever. It doesn't have to. I'm not saying that. Like, I actually think that there are some things to be said about having multiple wives at home. So I'm not even putting down the Mormon religion about that, but it might be multiple husbands too. And
so long as guys mellow out a little bit, multiple husbands for many women would be a nightmare.
Yes, I wouldn't want multiple husbands. Yeah. But that being said, the sister wives might want to be in my bed rather than James's. And that should be their right. So, and I don't think any sex needs to be involved with the whole thing.
The sister wife idea is Pauline's. It's not coming from.
Not coming from James. I'm saying.
So,
but
I want to make that perfectly clear.
I definitely think there should be a lot of people involved in that actually care about family. And I think with a little tweaking, the Mormon religion could actually work for a lot of people. I don't believe that there should be a man that's the head of the house. It should be democratic.
Of course.
And
if there are 6 people involved, you each get an equal vote.
Yeah.
There'd be a whole lot of these.
There needs to be no sex. So that man, he can be funneling that liquid gold into little containers to be used by the sister wives, but he doesn't actually need to dip his banana. So that might actually work out a lot better.
Well, what I was going to say, if it was required to be a democracy, these practicing polygamists, they would have one wife because they'd be outvoted, right? That can't happen, you know. Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe a lot of tweaking with the religion, but I'm saying it could work. I'm not against it. I think the Mormons are really successful in this time because right now, for quite a long time, it's been this side of the quadrant with the dominance and the entertainment people that are getting the lion's share of the wealth. And they raise their children, especially the boys, to be really into sports. And that's going to raise them to be on that side for the most part. So, and if he can be tall as well, he's pretty much a shoo-in for management.
That's the way it is.
Yeah.
They tend to pick sports guys and taller guys and guys
loads of money
and that sort of stuff. How much do you think a fairly good NBA player makes nowadays per year? What would seem like a ridiculous...
How would I know that?
Well, just what would seem ridiculous to you?
I don't know, but they make too much. Way too much. And especially when you consider that it should be a team sport.
Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous.
How is one person... It doesn't make any sense.
So flunkies will get like $2 million a year. I don't know what the top is, but I'm reading about it's kind of not very good players, $30 million a year. Like when I read that, I'm going, they shouldn't get paid anything. It's something that it's a kid's game, and it's theoretically they should enjoy doing it. Football's not nearly as much fun, I think, but it's just bizarre. I'm so proud I've never paid money for any of the top major sports to go see them live. So ever, I haven't supported any of those poses. I'm proud of it.
All right, well, I guess I better put that in the fridge, unless you had something you wanted to say.
Nope.
Can't believe you didn't get your cauliflower or cucumber juice down right away.
Well, I just finished eating that tomato sandwich with jalapeno thing, so kind of full, so I'm only going to drink about half of it.
That's amazing. I could totally down that and like 3 of those.
Yeah, but have you eaten this morning? You probably haven't.
No, I haven't.
See, that's the difference.
Well, now I don't want to eat.
I know. The best diet is something like a kale and that wasn't kale though, but cauliflower.
It's bad.
But kale would be even tougher, I think, than cauliflower. But you'd have to tell me.
Kale's bad too.
But kale with turmeric and maybe some ginger chucked in.
I didn't put the ginger in here. If I'd put the ginger in this one, that would have been.
Oh, you would have needed that. You would have been spewing.
Yeah.
Oh, ginger just kind of wells up.
Yeah,
after
it's funny. It's supposed
it's
to
an aftertaste type
stomach,
effect, but not if you eat or drink too much of it. It just starts
maybe,
to boil in there, and then sometimes I'll be just like trying to hold it down.
I know sometimes it's tough with these health juices, but you got to do it.
It's usually the ginger that has that. Beet sometimes has that effect on me. It's amazing how nauseating that can be. I don't know why, because I kind of like beet taste, but the juice,
yeah.
And it's when it gets in my stomach, it wants to come up again.